So, hi guys, a very good afternoon to everyone. And I, Rahul Prajapati, I welcome you all for this webinar. So probably, market seems to be very dicey, right? So in the previous session, we have discussed about, you know, uh, is this we are trading in actually in the bear market or not, right? So we discussed few data points, right? Where we seems to have market is showing some kind of weakness, right? But after that, probably market is showing a bit of short covering. So the data points that we're going to see is that the agenda for today's discussion might be going towards that, are we bottoming out somewhere or still we are showing the weakness on the bigger time frame. So what is the next step that market is likely to show, right? Okay, so again we'll talk about the few technical setups if you can see, right? And again we'll try to see the how derivative data is behaving, right? And how option open interest data is actually behaving, what is India VIX is saying, the PCR and any other thing, how the across the sectors are performing. So we'll check few data points according to these key points, and then we'll try to conclude that what is currently happening in the market, right? Okay. So first of all, let's start with the Nifty chart only, right? Okay, so we have recently, developed the order and trade analytics on charts specifically. So you'll have a live charts now. Okay, you can see that we have live charts. Plus, you can add, the different indicators plus order and trade analytics, all the data, and the second order Greeks you can also have here. You can see the first order Greeks, second order and third order Greeks all are there. So you can just add them to your analysis and see how they works in the market, right? Okay. Now, so let's talk about this. So first we'll go to the weekly chart. Okay. So on weekly chart in the previous session, we studied that market is actually showing a double top pattern. Okay. So where we are saying that, okay, this could be a bearish market, that market, likely seems like going down. Okay. We had few gap downs in the previous weeks specifically, right? So probably like very heavy gap downs on specifically on Mondays, right? And even after that, we are seeing whenever market showing a gap down, it's recovering, right? So market is not falling at that speed although altogether, right? So if you see the weekly chart, it's the current candle is showing a kind of a good recovery from these levels. We have seen this particular area, जो आप ये वाला एरिया देख रहे हैं, जो मार्केट में इस लास्ट ईयर जून जुलाई में जो मार्केट ने कंसोलिडेट किया था, this area was a good support. So market ने इसी में drop लिया and market started going up. So this is a very good buying zone for a market actually. Now market is showing a short covering as such, right? Market is going up specifically. Even though if today we study the daily chart now after that. Okay, so you see on Monday we had a gap down, a very severe gap down. Okay, and then market actually recovered after that. Yesterday we have seen a good volume and good price moved up, and again today also we are seeing a price moving up. Now how the open interest data is behaving, we'll see to that, and again we'll see what are the major contributors that actually helping the market to go up, right? So first let's go to the contribution specifically. Now first let's see the sectors. So specifically we see the sectors, the oil sector is contributing a bit, specifically majorly, right? Not a bit. And you see FMCG and in IT specifically. So IT stocks are actually performing, right? Since few days, right? So if we see again the contribution for today, so Reliance is the only stock which is actually so in 170 points, 60 points is given by only Reliance. So in the whole oil sector, the Reliance is the only stock which is performing actually, right? On the contrary, on the second side, we have, the Infosys, again, a major contributor. And if you see TCS, Tech Mahindra, so most of the stocks, LTI, right? So HCL Tech, so these all are stocks which are majorly out of, top 10, we can see like 4 or 5 stocks are from IT sector, right? And the majors are like, TCS, Infosys, and these are the heavyweights, right? HDFC Bank, HDFC Hindustan. You see the first 5-6 stocks are major, the heavyweights of index, right? Specifically, you can, if you want to check, you can check for Bank Nifty also, right? Bank Nifty, HDFC Bank is a major contributor, and then after that, AU Bank, right? Not a specific major contribution from ICICI Bank specifically, right? But still, the IT sector is the sector which is actually performing here, right? Now let's see the build-ups, how the build-ups are coming in the sector specifically. So majorly, if we see, from OI contribution is majorly from the auto, and if you see IT is consistent, right? And price change actually happening in the media stocks majorly, right? But if you see this, if you sort it out, so auto sector, private banks is not contributing specifically just because of HDFC Bank. IT is there, right? So IT and Nifty stocks and oil are performing. So you can see the built up are on the long side specifically. Now let's check the Nifty's OI. So specifically, let's do the index study specifically. Okay. So if you see, the trend is specifically down for Nifty. When we had this short covering earlier, we have seen some buying coming up, and then again market gave up that move. From last 2 days, we are actually having a long build up, right? So people are actually buying it. So this data shows that buying it, but on just 2 days data, we cannot just confirm that market is going up specifically. So it's a real-time data. So as we can say that there's a good OI change specifically, but we will be checking this data, on EOD basis. So how the data has behaved over the period today, right? Okay. So probably there will be some changes in data. So if this is a short covering, then probably it's not a good buying actually coming up. And again, if we see the the data. So basically, the data is not actually, showing specifically major buying. It's just absolute change is showing a good, but again, we'll see on the EOD basis how the data is actually behaving, right? Plus, if we see the India VIX also, so India VIX is also not, not showing any specific thing. It's again, trading around 27. So although by the time it's trading above, 20, we have, some issues with the market, right? But still, as of now, no change in the, India VIX. Now, so let's check the how, for current expiry, how Nifty is likely to behave. So we need to see some data points which actually triggering the market is bottoming out or not, but overall data is not triggering anything. So if you see for current expiry, 17,000 call option is showing addition again, and 16,500 is also showing addition. On the put side, you can say 16,000 put is showing again, addition here. So probably this could be the range we can expect, that 16,000 on the lower side, 16,500 on the higher side. This could be the trading range. Now, if you see the technical chart again, so we'll try to see if that market is showing some kind of, so we can even see the divergence part. If there is some divergence, we can even anticipate that market is actually showing a bottom. But as of now, it's not, not a specific, any data is showing that market is actually bottoming out, because on the basis of 1 day OI data, we cannot justify that market is buying is actually coming up, even though the few stocks which are heavyweight are actually showing a buying in this, but still we need to wait for some time at least, which shows that market is actually bottoming out. Okay. But still, the overall structure, if you see, the market is still down. Okay. Let's come to the again, the technical chart. We'll study the daily chart again. So we'll put the oscillator, that is RSI, and we'll try to see if there is some divergence happening in this or not. Okay, so let's study the bigger time frame. Okay. So even if we see there is some sort of divergence, but still this is the lowest level, 30.56 and 30.61. So again, this is the lowest level. So until unless we don't have a divergence in the market, we cannot say that market is bottoming out specifically. So on technical basis, we don't have any kind of, this is just a recovery, right? This is just a small sort of recovery. Not at all any data is indicating that market is likely to bottoming out here, right? So if you see again the weekly chart, it's just a simple to study the chart here is that let's see. So यहाँ पर आप जो देख रहे हो ये लेवल जो मार्केट ने ब्रेक डाउन किया था, so this was a support, right? मार्केट ज्यादा शॉर्ट कवरिंग दिखाएगा and it will again go back. So logically मार्केट को इस तरीके से वापस गिरना चाहिए. Okay, if market takes somewhere resistance here. Till this time, if we see the data here, so market में यही चीज दिख रहा है कि निफ्टी पे अभी आपको बॉटमिंग आउट को कोई भी पैटर्न नहीं दिख रहा है, तो सडनली आपको बाइंग इनिशिएट नहीं करना है. ओके, वेट फॉर मार्केट टू बिहेव इन दैट कि एक्चुअल में बाइंग आ रहा है तभी हम पोजीशन क्रिएट करेंगे. बट ओवरऑल स्ट्रक्चर इज स्टिल लुकिंग वीक बिकॉज एक दिन का ओआई डेटा पे हम कुछ भी कंक्लूड नहीं कर सकते. एंड स्टिल अगर कल का भी अगर आप ओआई डेटा देखोगे, दैट इज नॉट अ सिग्निफिकेंट, राइट? इट्स नॉट अ मेजर चेंज दैट इज हैपनिंग, राइट? ओके, so that's not an issue. Now we can also check the bank nifty here. So if you see the banking stocks, why they are weak because of this pattern, so this was a good upside leg. Market shows a correction and then when market went up, so here it again started feeling the selling pressure. So if you see this level 34,000 was a good support and market actually broke it this week and it's trading below that. Now this is where the structure becomes weak. Okay, so even though if the banking stock showing bit of recovery, it likely to again shows that any short covering would be a good selling opportunity. So whenever market makes such kind of patterns, it shows that it's again a weakness, kind of a weakness we are seeing in the market. Okay. And even if you see on the RSI, we don't have any kind of divergence. So not at all a sign that market is actually recovering. So it's all just kind of a short covering we are having. And even if market goes up, we'll go and sell this market again. Okay. Now what other data we can see? We can go and check the OI PCR. Okay. Okay, so if you see from the 3rd March, this put call ratio is actually decreasing, and today it has increased a bit, right? Okay, so when this data is increasing, so this shows, if you see generally 0.7, 0.8 is the level where this OIPCR is actually bottoming out, and they have a positive relationship. So when price goes up, this also goes up, right? So when the put call ratio increases, right? So what happens actually? They seems to be like market is they have a positive relationship, right? So as of now we can see the current, we can see there is both are increasing, right? But again, just a 1 day data, and if you see from last few days, it's continuously decreasing, right? Okay, so we'll again check for bank nifty also. So again, it was a few days back, it is decreasing, right? So what is the logic behind this data? Whenever, so it's a put call ratio, right? So put data is on the numerator and call data is in the denominator, right? So whenever this ratio increases, that means the numerator is increasing or probably denominator is decreasing, right? Okay, so whenever this data increases, what happens? We are saying that the put call writers are more aggressive, right? So when market goes up, this data also increases. That means from, if you study from here, see the put call ratio increases and market is also went up. So what happened? Actually, put writers are becoming more aggressive. They are selling the market. Okay. And when market started falling, so this data also goes down. So they moves in tandem, right? Okay. So this is how the understanding of this data. Okay. तो बेसिकली दोनों का पॉजिटिव रिलेशनशिप रहता है. जब आपका ओआई पीसीआर बढ़ेगा तो मार्केट में भी उछाल आता है, और जब वो गिरेगा तो मार्केट भी नीचे जाता है, राइट? सिंपल सा चार्ट देख करके भी आप समझ सकते हो डेटा को अगर समझने में प्रॉब्लम आ रहा है, राइट? ओके, सो दिस इज हाउ वी कैन अंडरस्टैंड द होल मार्केट. सो अभी तक जो हमने कंक्लूजन निकाला है वो ये है कि निफ्टी को ड्रैग करने के लिए फ्यू स्टॉक्स आर ओनली देयर व्हिच आर टेकिंग द मार्केट अप. इंडिया विक्स से कोई सिग्नल नहीं है हमारे पास. ओआई डेटा से भी हमको मार्केट से पता चल रहा है कि स्पेसिफिकली फ्यूचर्स में, निफ्टी में हमारे पास कुछ भी ऐसा डेटा नहीं है जो शो कर रहा है कि मार्केट ने एक्चुअली बॉटम आउट किया, एक्चुअल बाइंग आ रहा है. यस, फ्रॉम पास्ट 2 days वी आर हैविंग अ लॉन्ग बिल्डअप, बट आज का शाम का डेटा हमें स्पेसिफिकली देखना पड़ेगा कि वो बाय है या जस्ट अ शॉर्ट कवरिंग, बिकॉज डेटा अपडेट्स इन द इवनिंग, राइट? सो रियल टाइम पे जो भी डेटा चल रहा है, दैट इज नॉट, वी कैन नॉट जस्ट मेक योर व्यू on this data specifically. तो OI डेटा को हमेशा EOD पे स्टडी किया जाता है, एंड ओवर द पीरियड हाउ द मार्केट इज बिहेविंग वो देखा जाता है. एक दिन का डेटा इज नॉट जस्टिफाइड, राइट? कि मार्केट का व्यू क्या है एंड व्हाट इज हाउ मार्केट इज बिहेविंग. ओके, सो दिस इज द फर्स्ट थिंग. अपार्ट फ्रॉम दिस, बैंक निफ्टी में भी आपने देखा टेक्निकल चार्ट के हिसाब से वो वीक ही दिख रहा है, और जो भी डेटा आप देख रहे हो वहां पर कुछ भी ऐसा सिग्नल नहीं है कि मार्केट यहाँ पर बॉटम आउट कर रहा है. ओके, now specifically if we can see that IT stocks are performing, so IT stocks ke andar we are, if you want to create, we can go and create a buying position, right? Okay, and one more thing, if you see, probably you might have received, if you are a subscriber of Quantsapp, you might have received that today. So the OI data on futures combined 3 months for Bank Nifty is at the highest. If you see that till now we don't have this much position in Bank Nifty till now, right? Okay. So this shows that Nifty is also, we as a India as a the leading contributor to the derivatives market now across from last 2 years, right? So that shows that the continuous build up coming up in these kind of indices specifically, which shows that the huge contribution from retail traders, FIIs and DIs is also there, right? Okay, this much increase in the OI shows that the huge participation is there in the market, right? From retail perspective also, right? And a lot of people are creating the positions in this. Okay, now still this data does not signify that where market will head. Okay, so because just with checking all these data, still we are not able to conclude anything. The overall structure still looks weak. Okay, so the only conclusion that we can get out of it is that on the rise we just go and sell the market. Just one conclusion we get out of it, this IT stocks are performing, so we can check some. So if we go to the triggers, right, if we can find some, probably Infosys was the leading contributor, if you say so. Okay, so if you see 18, the stock is trading near 1825 and 1800 is the call option, with the highest call option. It's already lost its 20% of the OI in the call option, right? Okay, now if you see, this is the only call option where we have the highest, so highest call option was 1800 and it is already lost 20%, and there is no shifting happening as such, even in 1900. And if you see, there is a good addition happening in the 1800 put option, almost 50%, right? So this shows that the buyers are actually in this stock, right? So, and the put writers are also creating their position on the different strike prices, right? So this gives a sign that this stock is bullish, right? So any dip we can just take a position in this. So overall structure for Infosys looks great, right? So on dips we can buy. So even we can check the जो इसका future OI है वो भी हम check कर सकते हैं how that is behaving. So from previous few days, so the stock was consolidating, right? And it was short covering move, but today we are having a kind of a breakout also in this, and the breakout is coming with long build up. So this shows a kind of a the bullishness sign in this. Okay, so if the breakout sustains, that means this stock is likely to go up, right? So Infosys is contributing more on the Nifty, and TCS is also contributing, right? Okay, so see, this was a good consolidation, and this Nifty, the Infosys is actually breaking up right here. So ये जो consolidation break किया है, इसकी वजह से अच्छा contribution आ रहा है, and 1800 was the highest call option. वहां से open interest reduce हो गया. That means this breakout is likely to sustain. Okay, and we have a time, so we can approach this stock very easily with good strategy, right? 1900 का भी अगर target expect करते हैं कुछ दिन में, तो on any dips we can create kind of a bull call spread और ऐसा कुछ strategy बना करके हम इसको approach कर सकते हैं. That will be very simple, right? But this gives a good sign. We can check the Reliance also. That is the second stock which gives us a. So here, if you see, this is again kind of a reversal pattern happening in this. Okay, so after a good fall, it is forming. So it kind of a morning star pattern happening on the technical charts, right? Okay, but still, if you see, so we need some other signals. Okay, just on one signal we cannot just be relying on that this is the reversal. Okay. And if you see the OI data for Reliance, so just हम क्या देख रहे हैं कि अगर ये जो स्टॉक ऊपर जा रहे हैं सच में उनका भी कंट्रीब्यूशन ज्यादा है कि नहीं है, तो अगर वो हमें पता चल जाएगा तो दैट मींस वी कैन गेट कि हाँ ये सिर्फ जस्ट अ शॉर्ट कवरिंग मूव है. सो निफ्टी इन रिलायंस में भी कुछ ज्यादा अच्छा मूव नहीं है. ओआई जरूर बढ़ रहा है बट इट्स नॉट कंक्लूसिव एनीथिंग, राइट? क्योंकि कभी शॉर्ट आ रहा है इसमें, कभी लॉन्ग बिल्टअप आ रहा है. सो दैट्स नॉट अ any this not justify anything, right? कि अगर यहाँ पर लॉन्ग बिल्टअप कंटिन्यूसली हो रहा होता तो देन वी कैन सी दैट कि रिलायंस में बाइंग आ रहा है. बट ऑन वन डे डेटा वी कैन नॉट जस्टिफाई दैट कि हाँ रिलायंस में बहुत अच्छा बाइंग आ रहा है. सो अगेन जस्ट स्टे इंटैक्ट दैट कि मार्केट का ट्रेंड अभी स्ट्रक्चर बुलिश नहीं है. इट्स अगेन सेम थिंग. ओके, सो मार्केट में जो स्ट्रक्चर वीक ही रहेगा. सो सेलिंग का पोजीशन ढूंढिए. एक सेक्टर है जो परफॉर्म कर रहा है, आईटी. सो वहां पर हम इन्फोसिस में पोजीशन अगर लॉन्ग क्रिएट करना चाहते हैं तो स्टे इंटैक्ट इन दैट, राइट? सो द कंक्लूसिव थिंग इज दैट कि जितने भी डेटा स्टडी हमने किए हैं दे आर नॉट कंक्लूसिव ऑन द लॉन्ग साइड. ओके, सेक्टर्स में आज बाइंग दिख रहा है बट विल सी अगेन ऑन दी क्लोजिंग की कहां पर हमें स्पेसिफिकली साइन मिला है. कोई भी स्पेसिफिक साइकिल फॉलो नहीं हो रहा है किसी भी सेक्टर में एज ऑफ नाउ. ओके, सो दैट मींस हमारे पास अभी भी कुछ भी कंक्लूसिव मूव नहीं कि हमारे पास मार्केट ऊपर जाएगा. सो इट्स अगेन अ वीक स्ट्रक्चर. wait for market to again come down. If you are a trend player, right? अगर आप इंटरडे प्लेयर हो तो आप इंटरडे में कैसे भी ट्रेड कर सकते हो, नॉट एन इशू. बट अगर आप पोजिशनल ट्रेड करते हो तो यहाँ पर आपको सिंपल दिखेगा कि मार्केट में कुछ भी ऐसा स्ट्रक्चर नहीं दिख रहा है जो आपको लॉन्ग पोजीशन करने के लिए हेल्प करे, राइट? ओके, सो दैट इज द थिंग, राइट? सिंपल तरीका है मार्केट को एनालाइज करने का. जस्ट सी फ्यू डेटास कि इनको कैसे स्टडी किया जा सकता है. कभी कभार हम टेक्निकल बायस पे हम व्यूज बना लेते हैं कि अच्छा मार्केट ने यहाँ से रिवर्स ले लिया तो मार्केट माइट गो अप. बट जब टेक्निकल के साथ साथ अगर हम डेरिवेटिव डेटा को स्टडी करें तो कुछ भी ऐसा साइन नहीं है. हमने अभी आईवी का तो पार्ट देखा ही नहीं कि आईवी का कुछ पार्ट है. इंडिया भी जरूर देखा बट आईवी की तरफ से हमको कुछ भी ऐसा सिग्नल नहीं आ रहा. सो वी कैन नॉट बी कंक्लूसिव फॉर एनीथिंग, राइट, एज सच. तो अगर स्ट्रक्चर वीक है तो शॉर्ट कवरिंग मूव भी आ रहा है, मार्केट ऊपर से जाकर के वापस गिर जाएगा. ओके, सो this could be a sign. Okay, so just this is how we study the market. Okay, simple सा तरीका है मार्केट को स्टडी करने का कि कुछ डेटा पॉइंट्स को स्टडी करिए and then we are through with this. Okay, fine. So let me just give me a second. So before we just finish up the session, just few insights. So we are having a few workshops coming up. So I'll be joining you in your city, right? So if you for this weekend, I'm coming to the Pune, right? Specifically, okay. And probably we'll have a it's kind of a session for like 3.5 hours, right? Probably in the evening. Okay, so further details you can go and check in the learn option, and we can just go and click on workshop, right? Just give me a session. So let me just see. So, and then I'll be after that probably next week, probably on 26th and 27th of the this month, I'll be in the Hyderabad and Bangalore. So if you are there, so you can join me again. We'll discuss the different trading techniques. Okay, specifically for further details, you can go and check on the website, right? What could be the agenda. And apart from this, we are always again coming up with another batch of certification, right? Options trading certification, right? So that is again starting on 21st of March, right? Okay. That's again, this is a 3-month course, right? If you are interested in learning from zero, an option specifically from zero to like to the advanced level, so this will definitely help you. And we'll learn different techniques, right? As we have already discussed many times, this is all to make you good with derivative data study, right? Okay. And please, apart from this, I also share some of my trading setups specifically where we can learn and trade the market, okay, on technical basis. But the structure is of this is a option certification, so we'll learn the option Greeks in detail also, and different strategies and strategies modification, right? And the trading setups, right? So from basic we'll talk about initially, and then we'll also learn how to use the Quantsapp and the data points specifically, which will help us to understand the whole structure of the market and trade specifically. So this is the whole agenda for the certification, is to make you trade ready. Okay, so if you can make money out of it by after learning it, that's going to help you, right? Okay. And that is the thing, right? Okay, guys. So that's all. So probably I'll see you again in the next session. You can just go to the YouTube for further learning videos. Okay, so there are a lot of webinars which we have already conducted for different tools and different topics. Right, you can go and check it and learn out of it. Right, and further, if you really want to learn options from in detail, you can just join the option certification. So we're starting on 21st of March. Right. Okay. So, okay, that's all from my side, guys. I'll again see you in the next session. Thank you so much. Bye and take care.